for you to keep your heart at peace. You will see that most of the teachings of Jesus on this subject are more intrinsic than they are extrinsic. They are more internal than they are external. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 25, it said, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat or what you shall drink, nor of what your body need. It says, for life is more important than meat, and the body than raiment. What is Jesus teaching you? Is Jesus trying to say become irresponsible? No. In fact, Paul was teaching, he said, if any man does not walk, let him not eat. God is not teaching irresponsibility, but God is telling you, never allow anxiety come into your soul because of mundane things. No matter where you are, ensure that your heart is at peace. And the way man puts his heart at peace is when his heart is stayed towards God. It says he shall keep him in perfect peace. Isaiah 26 verse 3, whose heart is stayed on him. And so the third secret of prosperity in the doctrine of Christ is a state of inner peace. When you allow anxiety enter your heart, even the things that are yours, you will lose them. And when Paul was teaching on this, he said, be anxious for nothing. Philippians 4, 6, and 7. I'm showing you why men don't prosper. That's why I told you it's a map. He said, be anxious for nothing. He said, but in all things by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. He said, let your requests be made unto God. And he said, the peace of God that surpasses knowledge will guard your heart. He didn't say God will give you your answer. The moment peace comes, your answer comes. But if you allow anxiety, anxiety will now rob you of what you have. Because anxiety will uproot the first two protocols. When a man begins to walk in anxiety, it means his trust is not in God. He said, but they that trust in the Lord shall be like Mount Zion that shall not be moved. And so Jesus is saying, in order to walk in a kind of prosperity that only God gives, it's important for your heart to be at peace always. That's why I said, what profit does worrying do for you? It cannot add a cubit to your stature. But when you talk to Christians today, even while they are giving, it's in anxiety. And you'll find them running helter-skelter. 12 midnight, they are naked, calling on the name of the Lord. And the person said he's in faith. And this person who is in faith has called 30 people, 8 a.m. in the morning. He said, we are trusting the Lord, but if there's anything you can do, my brother, do something. I'm strong, I'm strong. He knows that him and his brother knows the meaning of I'm strong. Instead of praying his way into peace. Now, I learned this by experience. There was a time I hadn't any amount of money. I called everybody. Nothing will happen. Even the people I felt should be indebted to me. And I knew some of them had money when I called them. That was when I discovered those who give when they need money. The devil will try to discourage them from giving next time. When stingy people ask for money, somehow they easily get. But the men who are liberal and givers, when they need money, nobody will. Because even the people think they have. Because they assume that they are giving because they have more than enough. And so when a liberal person is asking for help, nobody gives. And the devil uses that to stop him from giving. And I was almost frustrated. And that was when the Lord spoke to my heart. He said, woe unto him that putteth his trust in the arm of flesh. He said, woe. That means you are cursed. Woe unto him that putteth his trust in the arm of flesh. He said, for the arm of flesh shall fail him. He said, it shall be like a parched place in the wilderness, a salt land where there is no water. He said, but blessed is the man whose trust is the Lord. Immediately I repented. I tell you the truth in Christ. It wasn't up to 30 minutes. Somebody on his own called me and gave me 3 times what I was looking for without asking. I now understood that there is something called supernatural prosperity. You will never toil enough to make for your needs. That's why you have to learn to bank on God. And the third way to journey on this corridor is to come to that point where you become like Mount Zion that cannot be moved. And this is not arrogance, because when I reach the 5th stage, I will tell you what God does, how God prospers people. Because it's not for you to just say, I don't care about anybody, I don't need anybody. That's not what I'm teaching. All of us need somebody. But we need the people God sends to our lives. Because if you go to the man that God didn't send to your life, he will make a mess of your life. So we all need somebody. This is not arrogance. I'm talking a state in the spirit that you get to because you have turned your heart to the Lord. He keeps you in perfect peace because your heart is stayed on him. When you are not anxious, you are not anxious not because you refuse to be anxious. You are not anxious because you are calling on him in prayer, supplication, and thanksgiving. If you don't pray, supplicate, and thank, you will be anxious. Because this kind of peace is God that provides it.